I want you to think about the last time you reacted to something in a way that surprised you. Not a mild reaction, a disproportionate one. Someone criticized something you made, and instead of brushing it off, something in you collapsed inward in a way that felt far larger than the moment warranted. Someone you love went quiet and unavailable, and instead of giving them space, a panic rose in you that felt almost primal, urgent, out of proportion to the facts. Someone dismissed your opinion in a room full of people, and the heat in your chest, the sudden urge to disappear or fight back, felt nothing like the composed adult you believed yourself to be. You felt this, that gap between who you are, experienced, reflective, psychologically informed, and how you responded in that moment. And you probably did what most people do afterward. You explained it away, or you judged yourself for it, or you quietly filed it under the category of things about yourself you haven't figured out yet. But here is what was actually happening in those moments. You weren't responding as the adult you are today. You were responding as the child you once were, the one who is still inside you, still carrying the unmet needs, the unresolved moments, the things that happened before you had the words or the power or the support to process them. And that child, as uncomfortable as this is to hear, is making more of your decisions than you realize. Now, before your mind goes to the phrase inner child and begins to associate it with something soft or overly sentimental or belonging only in a therapist's office, stay with me, because what we are talking about is not metaphor, it is neuroscience. The brain does not process chronologically. It does not experience events in sequence and then neatly file them under past, no longer relevant. When an experience occurs that the nervous system cannot fully integrate because it is too painful, too confusing, too large for the resources available in that moment, it is stored. Not as a memory in the conventional sense, as a live emotional charge, an unfinished file, a fragment of experience that never fully completed its process. And it remains there, in the body, in the nervous system, waiting. Not passively, actively. Every time the present moment contains an echo of the original experience, the same tone of voice, the same feeling of being unseen, the same threat of abandonment, the same atmosphere of unpredictability, the stored charge activates. And your response is no longer coming entirely from today. It is coming from then. Let's make this specific, because abstract psychology rarely changes anything. Here is a child who grew up with a parent who was emotionally unavailable, not cruel, not abusive in the obvious sense, simply not there in the way the child needed. The parent was physically present, but emotionally elsewhere, preoccupied, distracted, unable or unwilling to attune to the child's inner world in a consistent way. The child's nervous system learned something from this. My feelings are not important enough to be met. Needing emotional connection is something I must manage quietly, without making demands. If I become too much, too needy, too expressive, too visible in my emotions, I risk losing what little connection is available. Now that child is 38 years old, professionally successful, articulate, socially skilled, and completely unable to ask for emotional support in their closest relationships. Not because they don't need it, they are starving for it, but because the moment vulnerability approaches, the moment they reach the edge of genuine emotional need, the old programming activates. Don't need too much, you'll lose what you have. The adult sees this happening and cannot stop it, because the instruction isn't coming from the adult, it's coming from the 8-year-old who learned this as survival. Here is another one. A child who grew up in a household where they were criticized regularly, not always harshly, sometimes in ways that were dressed as helpfulness. That's not quite right. Let me show you how it's done properly. You could have done better.
The criticism was frequent enough and the praise conditional enough that the child concluded, "I am only acceptable when I perform correctly. My natural self, unpolished, imperfect, still learning, is not enough." Now that adult cannot receive feedback without their system flooding, cannot share creative work without a physical bracing sensation in the chest before they hit send, cannot make a mistake in front of others without a shame spiral that lasts days. Their colleagues see someone overly sensitive. Their inner world experiences something more accurate, a child who is still waiting to be told that they are enough as they are, not for what they produce, not for what they achieve, just as they are. This is what unmet childhood needs look like in adult lives. Not always dramatic, not always traceable to a single defining moment. Sometimes the wound is the accumulation of thousands of ordinary moments in which something needed was simply never there. A child who needed to be heard and wasn't. A child who needed safety and had to create it alone. A child who needed to be celebrated simply for existing and learned instead that love was something earned through performance and compliance. These needs did not dissolve when childhood ended. They went underground, and they surface in adult bodies, in adult relationships, in adult reactions that seem inexplicably large, as the unfinished business of a self that never fully got what it needed to move on. And here is where this connects directly to everything we have explored in the last several videos. The people pleaser who cannot say no is often a child who learned that their safety depended on making others comfortable. The person who absorbs everyone else's emotions is often a child who was made responsible for an adult's emotional world before they were equipped to carry it. The adult who stays in situations that diminish them is often a child who learned that love, however painful, is better than the alternative of having nothing at all. The adult patterns are not random, they are coherent. They make complete sense when you understand the child they were built to protect. So what do you actually do with this? Because insight, as we have said before in this series, is the beginning, not the destination. The first thing is the simplest and hardest simultaneously. You turn toward the child rather than away from them. Most people, when they begin to understand the inner child, feel one of two things: grief for what that child didn't receive, or impatience, a frustration that this old material is still present, a desire to have moved past it by now. The impatience, however understandable, is itself the wound. It is the voice that said, "Your feelings are taking too long, you are too much, get it together," now internalized, now directed at yourself. The turning toward looks different. It looks like when you notice a disproportionate reaction, pausing and asking not what is wrong with me, but what just got activated and how old does it feel? It looks like recognizing the moments when you are not responding from today and offering that younger part of yourself something different from what it received then. Not from someone else, from you. You are now the adult in your own life, which means you are the one who can finally provide what was missing: the validation, the reassurance, the permission to feel without punishment, the consistent message that you are not too much, that you are not enough, that your needs are legitimate, that your feelings deserve to be felt. This is not regression. This is not weakness. This is the most sophisticated emotional work a human being can do, and it changes the texture of everything. Because when the child inside you finally begins to feel safe, when the nervous system finally receives the message that the emergency is over, the adult is freed. Freed to respond from the present rather than the past, to choose from genuine desire rather than old fear, to love without the distortion of unmet need running underneath everything, to finally, quietly, completely, without announcement, arrive in their own life. Subscribe and press the bell icon, because in the next video, we go into something that will make you rethink every time you have ever held yourself back from the life you actually wanted. Self-sabotage, not as a character flaw, not as a mystery, but as one of the most psychologically coherent things a person can do. The reason you have been doing it has nothing to do with what you think. And once you understand it, the pattern loses its power completely.